Hello and welcome to Master Edison Format. This is the channel for you if you're looking to improve at Edison, improve your game, learn more about how to be a better Edison player. And I hope you guys get some value from this video. What I wanted to do in this video is actually to try to play kind of a tech card, one of my favorite cards, Reckless Grid. I love drawing cards, and I think a card like this, which you can combine with multiple copies and just can give you the possibility to draw two cards, is just such an exciting card and has a lot of kind of interesting synergies with a lot of the main decks. And so in this video I'm gonna show you how I try Reckless Grid in Vayu Turbo, in Blackwing, that you see here, and in the Hero Frog, and kind of how this card played, if it was a good addition, was a good tech, would I recommend it? And we're gonna go kind of in a little bit of a discussion, starting with Vayu Turbo. So the reason why I think this card is interesting is because it's one of those cards that is very good for like aggression. Like if you think the game is not going to last long, you're never going to basically actually skip your 2 turns, so this becomes like just a free draw 2 cards. And so this I think fits very well, aggro decks and kind of combo decks, things like, for example, Delon Turbo of course play this. And I think even a deck like Vayu, which does have, it's not quite as aggressive as like a Dragon Turbo, but it can get quite aggressive if you play it a certain way. I think in a deck like this does actually make a lot of sense. It helps you get to the Greffel Sirocco combo faster, helps you draw a lot of the broken cards you play in this deck. Like, I think compared to most of the deck, this deck plays so many just good one-offs, so many good broken cards like Kaius, Sorcerer, Dark Arm, the Goals. Like this just helps you draw into those faster, and so that makes a big difference. Like drawing into Return is great, drawing into Brain Control. All of these are just great things you can draw for Reckless and can help you win the game on that spot. The other reason why I kind of like adding this to the deck is that compared to Upstart, there's no life point cost. This is kind of plays also a little bit like a Legacy of Yatta for Blackwing. It's kind of like kind of a bluff trap that, of course, you don't love using them using it during your opponent turn, because then you do actually have to skip one draw. But if you use this during your turn, like this really kind of can give you a boost, because you draw for turn and then you draw 2 cards for this, and then yes, you will have to skip your draws in the future, but you get the cards now. And so, yeah, I just think it does fit in this well a lot, and in this deck a lot. And I've seen other lists play this in the past. So, yeah, just interesting card, interesting choice. And so I think this is kind of like my list. I basically replaced the Upstart with the Reckless. I still play the Lyra. I play, it's kind of like my weird, spicy Vayu Turbo deck list. I still play 2 Icarus. I think this fits well also with the Reckless, because like you're gonna draw into more values, and Icarus can convert into something better. Yeah, so it made a lot of sense here. You have the Blackwing. I think it makes a lot of sense in Blackwing. It is kind of like an extra Yatta. You've seen Blackwing list play double or 3 Yatta, 3 basically 6 draw traps, 3 Yatta, 3 pot of greed or jar of greed, and I think this kind of has a similar role. The Blackwing deck also can get extremely aggressive, like with certain draws. Like if you get to the Whirlwind, and you have Sirocco, Bora, Shura, you can get extremely aggressive with this deck and kill your opponent very fast. This kind of helps you achieve that. This also helps you get to the Whirlwind, which is great. So I think it makes a lot of sense in this deck as well. And on top of that, something I didn't mention, which is also valid for Vayu. This is a trap that you can chain to an attack, so you can drop goals on an opponent. So this is something else to think about. Yeah, I think overall it fits quite well here. Maybe I would say in these types of decks it helps you be even more aggressive, and so we'll see in the duels how this played out. And then finally you have the Reckless in the Hero Frog. Here is where I was a little bit more kind of unsure about adding this card, because Hero Frog, the best kind of I would say the best asset of this deck is just its continuous card advantage. And so a card that helps you draw even more card advantage is not necessarily something you need in this deck. What usually you need is a little bit more interaction, ways to save yourself if your opponent tries to kill you. So but this kind of has a similar role as the kind of the legacy of Yata in Blackwing. Like, it's something that you can chain so your 3-bone comes back, and it's something that helps you draw to the monarchs. I think it does work in this deck too, because you have you want your engines to work together. So a lot of the times you're in trouble with this deck is when you have the Miracle Fusion and no hero, or you have the frogs with no monarch, and so this actually does help you mitigate that a lot. And of course, there's another Ghost deck. There's another deck that's trying to to basically outgrind your opponent, and in some situations this can really unbrick your hand and help you. So, and on top of that, it's chainable. I think that's what's great about it, is that this is gonna bait out a lot of MSTs, a lot of rare. You've seen the replays, and yeah, and on top of that, this helps you in this deck. This helps you 3-bone come back, and yeah, I think this is a interesting addition, and we'll see how this played out in the replays. In the first replay, we're playing against San Andrej. We're playing with our Reckless Vayu Turbo here. Yeah, we don't have the Reckless yet, but you'll see it play. I mean, this, if you don't have the Reckless, this just plays as a regular Vayu Turbo. We're playing against some interesting Gear Town Machina, like interesting combination. He kind of puts us under pressure. We take some damage and we Reckless Greed and drop the goals on him. You see, like, this is I know he's playing Gear Town. I heavy storm anyway because I have the brain control. I want to take his card. I don't want him to be able to banish our card, so I first attack with the goals. So I first take the fortress, and then I don't want to target this, so he sees our hand. So first we do all this. He heavies, gets his ancient gear back, attacks over. He plays very well around my Dark Arm, and yeah, I mean, saves himself for a turn. We have the Raikou, but yeah, it's just gonna be game. We had the typical Vayu Turbo nuts, so not really too much to do there. Second game, he starts with the gear frame, sets to, yeah, I mean, he decides to immediately do this, and which plays around my gear actually quite well, which is interesting that he had this read. I don't know if I necessarily agree with doing that so fast. Like, this is not, it's not really, something that I understand against Blackwing, but against Vayu, I literally only have the gear to do that. I don't drop the goals here because I have the Cyber Dragon. I want to get maximum value of the Cyber Dragon, so I don't use goals. He does have the bottomless for the Cyber Dragon, so we brain control the fortress, we get rid of it, and go to attack. I make a mistake here. If I would have gone into something else, we're gone into maybe not even a Stardust, but maybe the Colossal Fighter. That would have been much better. Here we go for Grapher. We try to save ourselves for one turn. Yeah, but this, we're already in trouble. Like, I completely misread. I thought this was going to be a Raikou, so that's why I went into the Darken. We have the Reckless Greed actually gives us here a chance. He shows us brain control, so I'm just going to go to the next game. I was thinking about making Goryo, thinking about bouncing his thing, but if I bounce his monster, then he can summon the fortress. Yeah, and I told him I think I thought I was cooked anyway. He goes for Future Fusion. Here this game gets quite interesting. He has a Gear Frame, which unfortunately can attack over McGrapher. I'm happy that he doesn't push more, I think, because then we will be in trouble. We mirror another Sirocco here, which is good. We go into Guardian, take this back, and go into the on-wing. Yeah, not sure that, this really matters having this back, but he goes into the Fortress. Fortress attacks over. He has this Dandy again, and then he also has this Scrap Iron thing, so this gets killed. The Goryo tries to attack over, but he has this Scrap Iron Scarecrow, which is quite annoying, and he gets to attack over again. Yeah, we try to attack again. He uses this, so yeah, he ends up using Karma Cut on us and attacks for 25. We luckily have the Cyber Dragon. We go into the Chimera attacks. We have the Grapher. Go into the value. We have Barrier, so we can go into this again, and then we have even an on-wing. We MST there, and just gonna be game. Then we ended up doing just what Vayu Turbo does. We did do a rematch, and so this kind of shows you how we played again against San Andreas. It was some good games. I mean, especially game 3 was quite explosive. We don't have the Reckless yet. We have MST. We set 3 with the Judgment. You could argue not setting, but yeah, I'm not gonna bottom with that. We MST the Regeki because I know he plays the Wing Blast, Regeki, like all things that are trainable. So and this MST can't hit the Fuse spell anyway. So goes for the Gale, attacks over Gale. We don't have an answer for, but this Armageddon Knight is gonna destroy it next turn. He has Torrential set. We do draw into Reckless. We have the Kaios. Kaios is great. He Torrentials with Judgment because this is just so much value if he has a Dandy, and then we go to attack with both, and he doesn't have anything. And yeah, we basically went for game. We then actually end up using the Reckless Greed. And yeah, here he starts with Trooper. We mill 3. We go into a Raikou again. Unfortunately, against the Trooper, Raikou is not great, so we go for Armageddon Knight. He only has an MST set, so that's fine. We don't set anything. We let him do his thing. Here again, we don't want to heavy because he potentially has for the Gear Town. He ends up MSTing this, but he misses timing actually because Raikou is in the chain, and actually I don't think he can even use MST because it's a damage step. So that was actually my bad anyway. Couldn't actually do it, and yeah, that was just GG. Not really too much he could have done there. But you see, I mean, the Reckless here, we saw it especially in game 2, I believe, and you did see it, in game 1, and you did see that it did make a difference. It helped us drop the goals on him, so I really liked how, I mean, and the rest of the deck is similar. It is a Vayu Turbo deck in the end, so it's always going to be a good deck. Next game, we're playing against Samuel Padrino. We're playing with the Blackwing, with our Reckless Blackwing. I kind of tried all 3 decks. We start with a Heavy Storm. I know, like, I kind of played that too aggressive. We're playing a mirror match, and yeah, I think for sure I could have used my Heavy and MST in a better way. Because yeah, here we get everything destroyed. We don't have the Reckless yet, so we go for the Blizzard. We don't play into the Prison. We make the Android main phase 2. He uses this. I think this is a big mistake, like just blind MSTing like into a card that is chainable, and you see I'm playing Blackwing, I'm playing, like, not for sure, but I have a lot of chainable things. I have Yata, I didn't have a monster there yet, but I could have had another MSC, like a Dust Tornado of my own. I could have a lot of things that are chainable there, especially Yata. I mean, that's going to be quite common. And yeah, so here we go for the Blizzard. I decide that he has only 2 cards in hand and we have 5, and I think it makes sense to go into a Blackross. Yeah, and I decide to do that. And yeah, when I try to use effect, this happens. We have a backup Gear to play around. We go for the Armwing, we attack, but it does get deprisoned. You could make an argument for attacking first, but we do have Sirocco as a backup, so yeah, that's just game. We're gonna do a ton of damage with the Bora and the Sirocco effect on Bora. He starts off with the Whirlwind this time. I kind of disagree with this. I think you want to wait a turn. You want to heavy first and then after commit to the Whirlwind. So we also have Dust Tornado for it if we need it. I decide to use a Dust on the Icarus because I have an out to the Whirlwind with my own Icarus. So if he does summon something, I'm gonna be able to use that anyway. So he heavies. I mistakenly flip the Icarus. We have the Reckless Greed. We do 4 cards of Reckless this game already. So like I think I already got a lot of value. We are kind of in a tough spot because we have the Dark Arm, but we don't have a way to use it. He bottoms us here, and then of course he draws the card for turn, and then yeah, I didn't even see the card because I didn't realize that he had it, that he do it for turn. So yeah, that was a little bit unfortunate, but here we have a very trap heavy hand. With these mirror matches, it does happen a lot. He does tornadoes or Reckless, which of course sucks, but he's the first one to put a monster on the field. He Icaruses. We have the Legacy, so it is kind of it's a relatively even trade. We do have deck devastation values. I'm not sure if it's a mistake to have this in this matchup, but if you look at his head, he has double Karut, so I think it does make sense. We start with the Sirocco. He tries to he does Dust Tornado and we attack. He Icaruses, hitting both, and then we deck devastation, and yeah, we clear basically all his monsters. We have here the token. He draws a 3rd Karut, so that we got some great value off of that. He draws a Vayu as well, and then he ends up drawing Ashura. Not sure why he didn't summon Zoshura, tried to crash, because I think at that point that would have saved him, but yeah. You did see that, like, especially game 2, like, Reckless gave us like 4 cards, and I mean, we did end up losing the game because we got unlucky, but if we would have survived one more turn, we would have had the game well in hand, I think. So that was kind of to show you, you know, how Reckless worked out in the Blackwing matchup. Here we go into probably maybe the most interesting replays of the day, and this was against a Rice One deck. We're playing against Beam Boltons, who's a new subscriber to the channel as well. I really appreciate it. And yeah, we had even some watchers here. Like, he's a very good player. We start. He starts off with the Lyra and Arcus play. We dash shoot the Celestia because we want our Mirror Force to actually do something this game. So he ends up drawing the Celestia again, and that's a little bit unfortunate. But we do take damage. We have the goals. We want to drop the goals, and we were hoping he wouldn't draw Celestia to destroy our goals. But what are you gonna do? He averses both the Judgment back and also draws a Judgment Dragon. Now all we have is the Mirror Force. Goes into the Plague Spreader. Here this is lagging. This is not on the field actually, and we take 3000 from the Judgment Dragon. Yeah, that was just gonna be game. I didn't have anything I could have done to out it at that moment. I didn't have any monos, didn't have a grave set up. So here we go we start with the hero. We have a better hand. We go with Stratos. We have the Reckless as well. This is quite good if he has a Lyra, and you know, it's something that we can chain and we don't mind losing. We go for the Prodigy, go for the Substitute play, and here, yeah, we go for all of this. We attack. I mean, you could argue it's a mistake here to attack into the goals for 100, but we have the Darker Spirit if we need to, and we're gonna use the dupe proc anyway, so we don't really care about the goals too much. So we dupe proc him, and he has the Raikou, which is kind of annoying. Here we go for the junk. We play around the Raikou with the Stardust. He only mirrors here, and he does mirror a Wolf, and does get his Judgment Dragon back. He uses Cold Wave. This should be in the grave. This replay is a little bit lagging. He uses Cold Wave, and we change Raigeki Break to the Wolf. I don't want him to be able to attack, basically attack over the Stardust with something else other than the Judgment. The reason why I did it is because the Wolf needs to attack needs to attack the dupe frog, and then if this dupe frog is on the field, he needs to attack it with Judgment before he can attack the Stardust. So, you know, that's why the Stardust is protecting us from Judgment now. I expect him to have the Honest, and he kind of throws me with the damage thing, so I thought he was gonna Honest us. We do have the Vanities here though, and this is gonna be quite a good Vanities fiend. We summon the Ocean. Ocean gets to attack. Vanity gets to attack. And we bring it down to 25. He does have a way to kill the Ocean with Jane, but yeah, this game is gonna be our game because we do have a way to attack over. I don't attack with Vanities. I'm afraid of Honest, and I'd rather not let him, you know, let him basically use Honest here. I want him, if he's gonna special summon, I want him to do a main phase 2. So here he heavies, and we have Reckless Greed, which helps us draw 2 cards, and then we attack into the Honest with the starter, but he doesn't have Honest, so we end up winning the game. This was like really tough games, like really took a lot of thinking. Like these were like really exciting games for us. Here they mirror 2 as a Raikou, threatening roll. We go for the swap. We don't mind losing the swap to the Raikou. You could argue maybe just setting like Raigeki Break would make sense as well, and then hitting the threatening roll, but yeah, and just bouncing the swap, but that's okay. If he goes for the Lumina, we use the Reckless, and we draw, you know, pretty good card. Dark Spirit is pretty good here. He does change. I don't know why he changed the threatening roll. He could wait until I attacked, but it's fine. He does mix everything. He side decked this Barrel Statue of the Heavens, which is quite annoying. And here we kind of get into some trouble because he has Honest. I should have played around the Honest here, and I don't do that. I could have Raigeki Break this, but I make the mistake of not playing around it, and, you know, kind of get punished for it. Here he goes for a Turbo. He has the Avarice. Like, he has pretty good setup. He has basically all the names in the grave. He has Gardner, so we are kind of in trouble. We also should have set the Torrential here, but we didn't. And this Wolf Mirror does actually kill me because, yeah, even though I'm on 300, I was planning to destroy this and then basically, you know, win the game after, but yeah, having the wolf get mirrored did actually hurt us a lot. And then we do summon the absolute zero because the Judgment Dragon's coming back, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, he has a normal summon and he can kill us. And so we go into the second set again. You see, when I play to people, I like to, you know, self-promote my YouTube channel, and a lot of them subscribe, so yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just kind of funny. You do see it in the chat sometimes. So yeah, he was nice enough to subscribe, and then we start off the game. He doesn't have a great start. He does draw, you know, the solo recharge, which is great. He's trying to mirror his deck. We Regeki break the back row, hit the dash shoot, go for the Kaios because I don't want to give him extra names, and then go to attack. Here we equal because we only have one target left in the deck. I don't want to draw it, so here he has a Judgment Dragon potentially, but he doesn't have enough names, so he goes for the Celestia. Celestia of course mirrors what he's missing. We do have goals, and then Memphis 2 is gonna pop everything with his Judgment Dragon, so he mirrors a wolf. This we're able to get the rise up, put the wolf on top, which is a very nice feeling. Crush with our absolute zero, and then attack with our Ryza. And he's gonna draw a second wolf, so this is not really gonna help him, and we can even dash shoot him, so we would have taken whatever he had left. Yeah, that was kind of a neat play, you know, kind of just a way to you know. And he starts off here with triple recharge. I mean, when they have triple recharge, I don't know what you're gonna do. He already has 4 names. Yeah, I think this game is already compromised. We don't have a great hand. We don't have a way to you know, really. I don't have a Monarch. We have Vanity. Vanity could be the kind of the way to win this game, but we go for the Vanity. Here he has the Raikou. Raikou is the perfect answer for it. He threatening rolls. We bounce the swap. The swap should have bounced the Vanities here. That was kind of a mistake, but you know, what are you gonna do? Like, if I would have bounced Vanity, then I could have dropped it now, and then he would have been in some trouble. So we go for a Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero tributes the Judgment. We go for swap. Swap bounces, summons a dupe, and yeah, we basically yeah, he uses a Cold Wave. This pops both our monsters. We do search off the dupe. It's kind of the first time I think in my life that dupe didn't miss timing, but we do take a good amount of damage. So yeah, here we have, again, he has the Judgment, kills both, and then just attacks directly, and we have the goals, but goals can do everything. So we go to game 3, and here again, this was like really kind of tough games. We have the Spiritual Water Art, get rid of the stupid statue, which was kind of annoying in the last set. We have the Tribune in the grave already. We go for the swap. Swap gets bounced. Yeah, we take a little bit of damage. I don't really want to Kaios this. I don't think it's worth it, and we want the goals to actually do something. So we drop the goals on the field. We have reinforcements. We summon the Stratos, and yeah, here we can start attacking over. We're lucky he doesn't have Honest, but even if he did, I think we would have been fine. We do attack into his own goals, I believe. Yeah, and so he does have the goals, but we don't care a ton because we have the Crow for this. I wish we would have saved the Crow for the Break Spreader or for the Abyss. That would have been probably even better. But if we would have done that, then he could have targeted like maybe a rightful monster, and then the Arcus would have protected. Here we do take a little bit of damage, but we do have Kaios. Kaios banishes us, and then we go to attack. He has a threatening roll. We go for the swap. Swap is going to bounce the Kaios, so next turn we can do this again. And he summons Aurora to keep mirroring, but and he does also have Honest, so Honest with the Kaios we bounce this. We attack into the Honest, but you know, that's okay. Both of them all 3 were right monsters, so there wasn't really a way to get rid of that. So here we go for a sub, go for the swap, like swap basically into Malicious, and then yeah, we go for game. So overall, what are my thoughts on the Reckless Greed? I think it's a good addition. I would say that it is kind of risky because it's much better in a deck that draws more cards than this. It is another dead mirror of a Trooper or a Charge or Raikou, so it is something to keep in mind. I don't know if this is better than Upstart. I think it's just slightly better than Upstart in value, and I think it does add another element that can speed up your deck when you need it. So I do like it. And I think, and again, I would have to play around with it more to say if I would do this, I would play this in a tournament or not. But it is an interesting tech, and I would definitely consider it. And same in Blackwing. I think in Blackwing it makes a ton of sense because this deck is very aggressive and it wants to be. I think most of the games you win with Blackwing is when you get so aggressive that then you force your opponent to commit. Well, not so aggressive that you overplay, but you do them enough damage early that then they need to kind of commit to the board to try to stop you from killing them, and that's when your Icarus becomes better, or your traps kind of play a role. And so Reckless helps you get aggressive like that, I think, and it helps you get to the whirlwind. I think in Blackwing this makes a ton of sense, and I think similar in Frogs. In Frogs it's true that you do have a very you do have a lot of card advantage already. You would say, why do you need a Reckless? But I do think that this adds another dimension to your game that the Frog deck is missing. Helps give it more consistency. Helps kind of hide the fact that you don't play that many back rows. It's similar. It plays a similar role to Legacy of Yatta, except you draw 2 and then you don't draw for 2 turns. And so in Frog, I'm a little bit more worried because the games do tend to last long, and so then you do end up you do end up kind of suffering for this. You do end up actually skipping your turns. You don't really skipping your draw phases. You don't really have a way around this with the Frog deck. So this is where maybe I think just Yatta would be better, or something else would be better here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel, Master Edison Format, if you like to improve Edison. If I bring a lot of winning deck profiles. I win a lot of interesting insight into the format. And yeah, subscribe, and thanks for watching.